Peace, this is King Noble Black Supremacy. We live now. Want to allow people to come on and get connected. Come get on in. Black Supremacy. We going in today. Black Supremacy. Peace. Come on in the room. We're going to have a little bill today. Welcome to the Black Divine Supreme Reality. Get some people in the room. Welcome everybody. I guess I'll first start off talking about something important, something I want to touch on. And that's something I've come to the realization that you are either one with God or you are the devil. You're either one with God or you are the devil. Now, of course, you could be in the devil in many different degrees, because you may not directly do anything intentionally to harm anybody, or you might not have malice in your heart. You may not be vindictive. So it's a certain degree. But you're still the devil if you're not one with God. You can't help but to be other than the devil. Because either you support the divine reality or you support the matrix and the artificial reality. A lot of people, I ask for donations and they're like, well, you know what? I ain't going to support you. I'm not going to support what you're doing. As though they have an option. Either you're going to support the devil's world or you're going to support the manifestation of a divine black reality. There's only two things to support. There is no middle ground. You're either supporting God or you're supporting the devil. Either you're supporting the kingdom of God manifesting on earth or you're supporting the continuation and the perpetuation of this matrix. Because it matters of what are you building. What are you actually creating? What are you actually manifesting? What is your energy going towards? We talk about the hell that we exist in this country as black people and how we are upset with the system and we are upset with the way things are, but we continue to support their world and their reality, and we don't want to support a divine black reality. We constantly give our energy increment by increment, our time and our labor, our resources, whatever we have, we continue to give it to support a reality that we claim that we hate. We claim that we are against it, that it's not for us, that is white supremacy, but we continue to support it, which makes you a devil. See, in this time you have a lot of teachers. A lot of people have come out as your teachers, master teachers. I didn't come out to teach you anything. I came so that you may have an opportunity to become one with God, one with the divine reality, one with supreme black consciousness. This is your opportunity to become one. See, teaching deals with the ego. It deals with you knowing something and the false you gaining knowledge, or you storing up information or building up your sense of self in a false paradigm. Everything in the matrix builds up your sense of self, your false illusion of who you are. So if you're getting taught something, then something in you is getting built up. You're not stepping out of a false world. Something of you is getting built up in the false world. The you to be taught is constantly being built on. That's ego. Because now you think you know something. It doesn't matter what you think you know. Are you one with God? Are you one with the supreme black and divine reality? Forget knowledge. Forget ego. Forget individuality. Forget separation. Forget building up a separate projection that you consider yourself to be who you are. And be one with God. Be one with divine black consciousness, with a divine black reality. There is no one to teach. The you that you feel that needs to be taught, that entity needs to die. Because that is a separate entity that perceives itself to be outside of all supreme intelligence and supreme knowledge and supreme wisdom. How are you outside of infinite intelligence? How are you outside of the infinite intelligence that created the universe? How are you something other to be taught? Where are you storing this information at? Where is it being stored up in you? That is separated from all other aspects of the universe. There is no real separation. There's no you to be taught. There's only you, the you that you are that feels like needs to be taught or needs to gather or store up information. That you needs to dissolve and merge into oneness with the supreme black reality, where black God consciousness is your only existence. There is no self that knows. There's no self that don't know. There's either God or the devil's reality. There's either God or the devil's world. So if you're not one with God consciousness, you have not submit or surrendered completely your existence to KNBS, the supreme black God consciousness of black supremacy, then you are the devil, because you cannot help not to be, because you're still generating and you're still living and existing through a false reality that is devilish meant, that is demonic, that is an illusion, that is deception, that is a lie, that is anti-truth, anti the black supreme reality. And you are a part of that world. And you are existing in that, and you want to be taught in that and taught from that. No, that you is not even real. The essence of you is black God consciousness. Your true identity is one with the supreme black reality. That is the only thing to be known, and that is the only thing that to surrender to, that is beyond knowing. It is the unknowable. It is the manifested unknowable, because it's larger than the brain. It's larger than the mind. It cannot be contained. It has no boundaries. But yet it is manifest. It is unknowable. Everything that is knowable is a extraction, or it is a mutation. It is isolated. It is an artificial construct. Everything that can be known. The infinite manifestation of God is unknowable, but yet manifests. It can be experienced. It can be felt. You can move in the frequency and vibration of that reality. So it is beyond knowledge. It is beyond your identity. It is beyond the temporal it is beyond the temporal reality of that there is someone to know something. Because the you that can know something is a transitional reality. It can die. It's going to end. What is that which is beyond that which can know? The eternal selfhood of black God consciousness, the black supreme reality. How can you build up a temporary self? How can you build up an identity that was given to you, or is a byproduct of an artificial reality? This individuated consciousness that you call you is an artificial reality that is a consequence of existing within the illusionary paradigm. It's a consequence of existing within their matrix. They capitalize off the individuation of God to trap the divine aspects of itself into individuality, which breeds disunity, which breeds confusion, which breeds disorder, which breeds dementia. So you have to go beyond individuated consciousness by submerging with the one. There is no you to know anything. That you must melt, must dissolve. Consciousness is one. The universe is one. In truth, it is all one in truth. There is no separation. So this is not a teaching, something for you to learn and build your ego as though I know something. It's you unknowing something that has separated you from that which is totally manifest, which is reality beyond all constructs, beyond artificial frameworks. I had to touch on that. So anybody who is not one with God consciousness, is not one with black supremacy, is a devil in degrees. You either on one side or you are either on the other. You can't have a degree of oneness. You either one or you are either separate. You are either on something else. You are either doing something else. And that's why you're confused. You don't know what to do. That's why your path is unstable. And there are moments of darkness and depression and confusion because you're trying to play both sides of the table. You're trying to be in both worlds. And you're building up an ego of knowing, an ego of knowledge, an ego of consciousness, but not surrendering to consciousness. Not dissolving your conscious into consciousness. I had to touch in on that. I had to. Stop trying to learn and become. Dissolve into beingness with divine truth. Completely. Let that be your totality. Not just a thought, a concept, a doctrine, a teaching, a religion. But let that be the totality of your reality. Without distinction or without differentiation, without separation or individuation. I want to touch on that. I did want to open up the live stream. The goddess want to come in and build on something. So I'm going to open that up. But you are either one with supreme divine black consciousness, or you are the devil. We keep talking about the white man is the devil, the matrix and white supremacy and all that is the devil. The world that we live in is demonic. But if you are supporting that reality, and if you have not merged to become totally one in your totality with black supremacy, you are the devil. There's no degrees of being awakened. That's ego. There's no degrees of being conscious. There is no process. There is no journey. There is no path. Either you are 100 right now, or you are 0 right now. And if you are 0 right now, you will be 0 forever until you become 100. You cannot go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way up to 100. And if you are at 0 now, or if you think you at 5 or 10, or at least I'm a 50 in being conscious, I'm a 50 in being on the path, you are still a 0. You are a devil. You are part of the devil's world. That doesn't mean, like I said, that you're evil, you have malice in your heart, or you hate your people, or you're doing harm to any individual. But you are supporting a devil's reality that is doing harm to people. You're supporting a world of error, thought. You're supporting a world of corruption. You're supporting a grand agenda and a grand design of deception with your life. So that makes you a devil. No matter what your nationality is, no matter what your skin complexion is, no matter whether you're black or whatever, you are supporting the devil's world. And you're using learning and being taught as an excuse to buy yourself time to continue to partake of the devil's world, to continue to participate for whatever you can get out of it. Because sometimes you're not even in it to harm others. You're in it just for what you can get out of it. But by default, it is harming others. The system, its reality in its totality is harming others. The matrix itself is sucking others. And just because you ain't been sucked to a turnip or a raisin, don't mean that it ain't sucking. We have to go beyond being taught and being an ego that is being educated. That's the same system of white supremacy, being the system of education, a curriculum. Go beyond being educated, and step into the divine reality where you are submerged in Black Supreme God consciousness. That is the totality of your life purpose, your agenda. You're no longer just a deep diver, like your boy Infinite Water say. You choose to live in the deep. Why come out of the deep? Why not go all the way to the deep and make that your home? Submerge yourself in the depth. Don't just keep coming up in the white supremacy, coming down talking about, well, I'm deep. I'm a deep dive today. No. Stay out of stay in the water. Stay in the ocean. Go to the bottom. Go to the abyss. Go to the supreme darkest point of the ocean and make that your home. Make that your home. Stop being a tourist in a divine black reality, in a divine black paradigm. Stop touring your own divine selfhood. Stop entertaining or being entertained by your divine selfhood, by the divine reality. Make it more than entertainment. Make it more than something that you're just pondering. Make it more than a teaching. Make it more than information. Surrender yourself. Sacrifice your false ego. Crucify the artificial self, the artificial construct, at the altar and at the shrine of black supremacy, of a black divine reality. You're never going to wake up through being any type of teaching. You're going to be learning forever. You're going to be a professional student. And that could be very expensive. And that could be a very arduous and long path that never leads anywhere. You have to make a decision today. You have to become determined today. You have to make a choice today. You have to be clear now. To become one completely. Not multiple thoughts, multiple ideas, multiple identities. Become one with Black God consciousness. Fully. Step totally into that. Without fear, without lack, without doubt, without limitation. Step into that. Embark that. Let the devil's world die within your consciousness. All confusion will end for you at that point. Things will begin to go the way they are supposed to go. But let me go live stream. If you could send another request so we can make it live, so I can join you in this if you are live. Peace, goddess.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I want to open it up. You want to build on some things.
Hold on, I'll step outside. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Basically, you kind of already spoke of it. I wanted to kind of touch on like being with the oneness. Can you hear me good?
I hear you very well. Make it simple for them if you can. You know I didn't went over their heads. You know I didn't shot way over their heads.
Okay, basically, what we are considering to be ourselves or identity, what we consider to be ourselves or identity is really limiting ourselves and separating ourselves from the oneness. The universal God consciousness has already perfected its creation in harmony. So in every experience, we need to just adjust our expression of consciousness to flow with the harmony that already exists, instead of trying to impose who we think that we are in every situation. This is what causes conflicts and division and separation and different denominations of knowledge and awakening. If we all accept the already divine God, divine order of it all, we would be in complete harmony with one another at all times. There would be no separation. There would be no separation. Our approach to every situation is like you spoke about in a previous video about keeping it real versus keeping it fake. Keeping it real is trying to complete keeping it real is trying to project a quote unquote keeping it real is us trying to project a quote unquote real personality or a solidified projection of ourselves. But keeping it fake would be you're just naturally flowing with whatever situation occurs. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you very well.
There needs to be a steady of going with the harmony of it all instead of trying to impose who think that we are on people. Hold on, give me a second. My bad, hold on. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay. In this process of awakening, you have what we consider, I guess, different degrees or different levels of understanding. And through that level of understanding, people tend to cling to what they consider fits who they are, right? Fits where they deem to be understanding on. But if we all acknowledge that there is a consciousness that goes beyond us, there is a supreme being beyond us that flows within us, that is naturally orchestrating divine order and perfection at all times, there wouldn't be a need for different levels of understanding or different degrees of knowledge. Just be you naturally assessing the situation and finding your place in that harmony. And whatever that would mean. You wouldn't necessarily have to come with what you consider to be yourself. You will be coming with just another piece of the divine whole consciousness. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, for example, with polygamous situations, right? A man can, let's say, have 3 different women. He is 3 different people to each one of those women. He naturally has to adjust to whatever energy or expression of consciousness that individual has to create peace, connection, and harmony with that person. That knowledge and understanding needs to be universal to everybody. We all need to how can I say it? Adjust ourselves to
That's deep. I guess we lost her. I hope she come back in. But she made some very good points. It's not about, to me, I think the word polygamy is a problem. The biggest problem with polygamy is the word me. See, what polygamy and monogamy have in common is both me. Polygamy, monogamy. Some say polygyny. I think polygyny, but polygamy is multiple mates. Polygyny is multiple mates. Polygamy is a man with more than one wife. But they both are me. If you get rid of the you, your problem's over with. When you realize the you is an artificial construct that's been built to work against you having harmony in any type of relationship, because it's been created by television and artificial reality, and it needs an artificial reality to survive. Once you get rid of that me, then you'll have harmony in all of your relationships, because you will become one with the universe, not one with the illusion of another person, not one with the illusion of multiple people, but one with the universe itself that expresses itself as many people, because nature is a polygamist, because it's serving everybody at the same damn time. It's serving all of humanity. Nature is a polyandrous. Nature is monogamous at the same time, because it's dealing with you individually. While you feel like you're individually being served, it's still serving the multiplicity of humanity simultaneously without fail. So we have to be one with the universe, not one with personalities, not even our own, one with identities, one with the significance of individuation. Being significant as an individual is the greatest problem with a relationship, because it's not about the we or the us. It's the me is still fighting to be the predominant reality, and it's artificial. Capitalism caters to individuality. So when you live in a capitalistic society, it reinforces the idea that it's always supposed to be about you. So when it gets back to your relationship, that relationship is supposed to be all about you and you only, not about community, not about family. Hell, we can't get monogamy to work for the same reason that we cannot get polygamy to work. It's just those who have got to a level of polygamy have actually evolved their consciousness further, so that it's not about them to those who are swamped in ignorance from capitalism. Once you transcend the illusion of being an individuated entity and know that on the other side of this material illusion, there is only one consciousness and only one supreme black God, that the you that you really are is the self of anyone that you would interface with, and their artificial personalities and identities are what separates you from them. The reality of who they are is connected to, you're already connected to them. You breathe the same oxygen that they breathe. You live in the same organic reality that they do. You're already transferring energy and particles on quantum and subatomic levels, where you already want to connect with anybody who you come in contact with already. So the illusion that you are separate, that there is great separation between those that you interface with, it's just not how nature operates. It's not the nature of reality. It's an artificial construct that makes us believe that we are actually separate from others in a way where we have to fight for that separation, and for those, and we look for those to cater to the idea of separation, and not cater and not be dissolved into the oneness in the reality of which we all share. That's a fact. That's a fact. So we're achieving a greater harmony when we get ourselves out the way. We thinking, I love myself. Throw out the word self. Get rid of self. Self is a parasite. Who you are is the source. It's source energy. The self has to worry and be concerned about is it consuming? Is it getting enough? Is it getting attention? The self is an energy vampire. You got people out there talking about they're not vegetarians, they're peopletarians. You are an energy vampire because you need something from people to continue to exist as an individual. But when you realize that the individual is an illusion, then you're simultaneously and you're instantly one with everybody. So you're not going around trying to get energy out of anybody. You're not trying to get energy out your mate or energy out of any interaction because you're already one with the reality and the nature of truth of everyone. So a lot of our relationships are really just energy vampire dialogues. It's two energy vampires. They call it codependency. Two energy vampires fighting for energy. The self, the parasite, the entity that they gave us, you have to get rid of that parasite. That's not you. That's worry, that's doubt, that's fear, that's death, that's life, that's duality. That's not who you are. You are one with the divine order, with the supreme and divine mathematical order of the universe. You are already etched in the eternal fabric of time. You already fit in. You don't have to try to fit in. You're already receiving energy constantly and every second as you in tune with source. So you're not looking for that for people. You're not an attention junkie. You're not an energy vampire. So now you go, and when you realize that you're connected with source, now you bring energy to other people. Now you are coming with the energy. You're tapping other people into source. So if you connected and you have infinite source energy, then what are you particularly looking for from another person other than to bring something to the table? You can't come with lack. You can't come out of lack and think that you're gonna get something. You're already connected to source. You're already receiving energy every second. Prana, life force, chi through breathing. So when you get rid of the individuated self and you surrender and submit to that source reality, you don't see relationships the way that you used to see them. Because now you coming as a whole being. You're not looking for your better half. You coming as a whole component. So now you're making the situation whole. You are the missing puzzle. God is the missing piece, the missing puzzle. Source energy is that which can defragment. You follow? Any situation. Any situation. So I had to touch on that. If you are not one with God and living in that oneness, in truth, one with the black supreme reality, you're the devil. You're an individuated, artificial, self-created entity that is a parasite that is supporting a parasitic world and a parasitic reality. And that's why you live in fear, worry, lack, doubt, and limitation every moment and every second of your life, because that's literally hell. That's what it has to offer for you, hell. That's what the devil gets, hell. But it looks beautiful from the beginning, but you end up in emotional hell. You end up in spiritual hell. You follow? So forget degrees of consciousness and I'm waking up and I'm being taught and I'm learning. No. Be one with God now. Surrender the type of ego that needs to learn, because in you is all truth and all knowledge and all wisdom and all understanding. It's already inside of you. You don't need to learn anything. Your ego needs to learn to feel like it knows something so it can lord information and knowledge over somebody else and feel better and different and distinct from others. That's individuated consciousness. That's not the supreme reality. I'm challenging everybody who's watching this video. Don't go on being the devil. Become one with black God consciousness. Become one with black supremacy. Become one with this King Noble enlightenment. Step into that paradigm. Step into that reality.
Black supremacy. It's King Noble signing out.